Okay, the diameter of the shaft that goes through here comfortably is about 168 thou. So that should work pretty good for that. So what I'll do is I'll either get either a 3/16 or a 1/4 inch shaft and turn it down to this, and we'll see if how close I can come to a diameter, so I know what to thread this for. I'm going to thread a shaft onto here, and then I'll be drilling down through here to pull wires through for the LED module. So I'm going to find out how close 168 comes to for a threading diameter. And it looks like a 1032 would work for that. That's 159 thousandths. So if I make the shaft this size here and then turn it down a little further down, yeah, I can do that with I can do a 1032. What I'll do is I'll check the diameter of a 1032 screw and see if that will be large enough to fit in here that I can thread this for. So that's what I'm going to shoot for, is 1032, and see how that works out. And the diameter of a 1032 is about 185, 87, about 3/16. So I can get a 3/16 rod and then thread it for 1032 to fit this, and then turn the rest of it down to the thickness of diameter of 168 to fit in here. Okay, this is a piece of scrap I found right here. I'll turn down probably about maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch of threads that will thread into this, and then the rest of it will be turned down to that 168 over to my leg. Now I'm going to pull it out a little bit at a time, so I don't have to use my tailstock, and just take a little bit of time here, about maybe 1.5 inches at a time, and turn that down to almost the full diameter I need to get it to. Touch off. Okay, I guess I've just now dialed this in as 60 thou and see how that works. On this. Okay, I backed off 20 thou. Looks like if I take my time here, I might be able to get that on that. That's showing right now 200 thou. So I think that I'll take this 50 thou off at a time here down to here. Then I'll come back and I'll take the next 30 thou off it and keep on working down until I get to about 168, around 170. So I'll use it one hand here a little bit while holding the camera with the other hand. So it is moving smoothly when when I spray a little bit of lubrication. It does move smoothly. I'm not getting any chatter or anything, any kind of vibration. It's going really smooth. So that's looking good for that. Alright, there it is at 200 thou. Okay, I'll come back now and I'll take another 10, 20, 30, another 30 thou off there, and I get to 170, or 170. And then we'll take it. Let's see how this here 30 thou takes off now. See if there's any deflection. See if once I get enough juice on there, it goes pretty smooth. I think it's going to work. There's no deflection. Got nice and smooth, a nice sharp bit on there. Ground nice and sharp. And it feels just fine. I'm getting no chatter, I'm getting hardly no deflection at all on the tool bit or the workpiece. So I think this is going to look fine doing it this way. Very nice. Let's take a check on that now. About 170, 172 roughly. Alright, that's hold up nice. It's not getting any kind of vibration, no chatter, and no tool flex or work flex. So I think that's going to work fine doing it that way. I'll take this to 170 all the way down to about a ½ inch, turn it around, and then turn that last ½ inch down to the 187th thou. And that will allow me to thread that, and then I can start threading that other end, and then this here shaft will be done. So I'll take it another about an inch, inch and a half. You can see what that's just breaking off there. This is tool steel. This is not leaded steel. I have no leaded steel down this small. I have all my leaded steel is about inch and larger. All my tool steel is my drill rod is in the small range here. Alright, let's continue on here. I'll take the 10, 20, 30. I'll back off that 30 thou and start machining this down again on the high diameter. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to crank it in that last 30 thousandths now, and let's just check and see how much deflection this gets on the workpiece now. With this much cantilevering out, I'm going to touch off here, and I'm going to start going in now. I've got to keep it juicy here so it can flow, and let's see how much deflection it gives now. Just cut and dry. I just hit it like that, and it seems like it goes nice and smooth again. I can tell when it's getting dry because I can feel it and I can hear it. that's wet, that's moves real smooth. Not much deflection at all, from what I can see from this angle. I don't know how it looks from your angle, but from my angle here, it doesn't look like too much deflection at all in the workpiece. Might be a little bit of vibration now and then, but not much causing problems. Alright. That's it, we're on. Let's see what we got here now. $70. It's a little bit high there, a little bit, but we're pretty darn close. Alright, that's looking good. Okay, this should be the last bit I want to take out about right here, and inside here will get threaded, and I'll take this down to here now to this final diameter about 168 to 170 thou. Really can't believe it now. Let's see how much it deflects. Still not too bad. Some deflection now. I try to keep my both hands on its wheel now and do this slowly. This is working pretty good. I'm not getting too much deflection at all. It's staying pretty well straight. By doing this method here of taking it a day at a time, this method works really good for thin stuff like this. Having a very sharp bit too helps out a whole lot. Very, very positive angle on it. Almost to the point of like shearing the metal. Very, very positive angle on it. Start seeing the rings coming off there now pretty soon. Gonna hit the chuck. Alright. That's a lot of cantilever. It looks pretty good for that. Going that way. And there's the finish on it. Very nice and smooth. There's no real heavy ridges or anything. Run my fingernail over it. Don't hear too much ridges at all or anything. Now it's not perfectly flat smooth, but it is smooth. And let's just check how close we are here. That's about 165. As I get closer to the chuck, it's going to cut in a little deeper. That's okay. But it's working pretty good, going a little bit at a time with a thin piece like this here. That way I don't have to use any kind of a tailstock, nor do I have to use any kind of a, what do they call that now? This part right here that rides on the carriage and holds the stock tight to the back side. I don't have to use that either by doing it this way here. That's the steady rest there, I know that. This is the that's a steady rest, not the fixed rest. I forget the name of it now. But anyway, it does the same thing as a steady rest. A steady rest holds the stalk when you can't use a tailstock, and this here holds the stalk. You can't use a tailstock from deflecting away when you're cutting on very thin metal, on very thin shafts. You want to use this here follower rest. It's called a follower. It follows along on the carriage, and you can cut very, very thin stalk on here because the stalk is backed by these here teeth right here, by these two plungers right here, and it keeps it from going up or back, and that way you can actually cut right down the way you call it. And this, of course, is called the steady rest, and that has a different function. Okay, there's a workpiece so far. This part will go inside the housing that we have over there, and this here will get now turned down to the diameter so they can be threaded for 1032 thread. Okay, that go in there like that, and we'll get that down in proper diameter now. Now this is going to be interesting here because the very thin shaft is inside the chuck jaws, and this wide part here is on the outside. So if anything, any kind of deflection is going to happen, it's going to happen because of the very thin shafting here that is being gripped by the chuck jaws. So I have to be more careful here now on this here. I am at 250, and I have to take this down about 187, 190. So I'll just take this one here, I will take off a little bit at a time until I get down to the proper diameter. To prevent any kind of deflection, I'll take 10, 20, there's 30 thou, and see how that works. If I get no deflection, I'll go deeper. Okay, here's something I can do. I don't like that. I'm afraid that's going to bend. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the large diameter inside here, like this. I'm going to have a little bit of deflection this way, but let me just get that tight enough here. Now I have too much, don't have enough gripping. I'll take half of that. And see how that works. Once I get this part, then I can take it back out and do the rest of it. This gives me at least a little bit of a jump on it. It's nice and solid now going across. So I'll go so far with this, and then I'll move the rest of it out. Okay, I'm at 220. 10, 20, 30, about 30 thou more. 10, 20, 30, I'll take the full 30 off. It shouldn't bend now because of the fact that it's being gripped by the thick diameter now. Okay, man, about 195. Let's take another 10 off it. The full diameter. 10 at the full diameter. Okay, that's real good there, 185, 84, that's good. So I need that in that direction there. So now I'll just go ahead and take the rest of this off now. I'll take this nice and tight to the back side here, something just a little bit. Tighten it up, and let's just go to let's just go to full diameter and get it with. Hope it doesn't bend. Hope it doesn't catch. I think it's gonna catch. Come on. Don't catch. That was the camera that fell. Let me get these guys over here. You can see that or not. I have to keep both hands on the wheel here. If I see anything going wrong, I'm going to stop. This is slow here. Make sure you keep it wet. Doesn't grab on the dry metal. And we're almost there. Almost getting dry. Almost. Almost there. There it is. Okay, good. It didn't bend. Alright. Alrighty, it didn't bend. That's good. What do we have here on the diameter? Oh, I got plenty now to do the threading. Alright. Threading next. Okay, that rod will slide down in here like this. Set it like that. And now that grips in tight. If I just pull it. Okay, so now the next thing is to thread this end here. And then thread with a dot tap under here like this here, so that screws into there like that. And that's what we're going to do next, is thread this now with the dot. Alright, that's ready to be threaded up to here, up to about here. And it's a nice set here. It's imported made, but it still works okay. It's got the it's got both the standard and it has the metric all in one case here. I need a 1032, 1024 is 1032 right here. And let's get this put together here and make our threads. Okay, make sure that my lathe is unplugged. I make sure this here dowel is now in neutral. And so now I can start doing my threading. I have my tailstock up to the thing here, so now I can start threading. Back off a little bit, clear the chips. Tailstock back up again, and continue on. That's nice looking threads. Let me get a nut, test it out. .1032 nut. Oops. There's a lesson there. I put a 1032 on there and it didn't fit. It was too big. I put an 832 on there and it fits perfect. And I realized I had my die stock in the wrong spot in my box. So that's a lesson learned there. I need to double check the die stock and double check the numbers on the tooling before I use them, because if I really did need a 1032, I would have been really messed up here. So I picked an 832 out of a 1032 slot, so I'm going to put this back in the right spot this time. Okay, now since this is fine thread, and this is steel, and this is aluminum, and this hole here was drilled just to be a large enough hole to pull wires through, wasn't planning on doing any kind of this kind of setup, I should be able to just use this aluminum piece here and just screw this onto here without having to do any kind of tapping in here, because the thread's fine enough and small enough, and so I should be able to just force it on there until it breaks in that hole, because the hole is just drilled any size to fit the wires, and I think that's going to work. Let me plug it in and just see how concentric that is. That's not too bad. After all, it's just going to hold that on there. That's all for the thing. Okay, so I would say that there part's done up to that point. We now have this. Bring this back over here. Okay, let's see what we got here so far. If we stick this here in through here like this. And then this goes into our housing here. And just put a temporary nut on here for right now. The nut will represent the handle that will go on here next, later on. Tighten it up. Okay. Okay, I think the next part now will be to work on this, bring this back to proper contour, and work on the handle.